Another reason why rappers aren't using your beats, this is honestly like the biggest reason. Alright, what's good YouTube? So in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make beats that rappers will actually use. In this video, I'm going to be making a beat from start to finish while breaking down various tips and tricks that separate beats that get used and beats that don't. The reason I wanted to make this video is because based off the loops that you guys send me both on Patreon as well as in Discord, it's clear to me that you guys don't know the things that separate beats that just sound good to a beat that would actually get used. And in this video, I'm going to show you all the techniques and what that looks like. And yeah, let's get into the video. So starting with melodies. So to break down the melodies, I'm going to go over all three parts: chords, melodies, and counter melodies. Starting with the chords, normally when you start chord, you want to start on the root note of some variation. So if I'm going to be using C minor, that would be the C. And I'm going to start with a 1, a 4, or a 6 chord because those are the three types of chords that contain the root note. The 1 would be the 1, 3, 5 like this. The 4 would be the C, the D sharp, and the G sharp. And the 6 would be the C, the G sharp, and the F. So right off the bat, this is probably the biggest mistake I see producers doing. A lot of newer producers, when they start their melodies, will try and do way too much at the beginning. Like they'll try to do like everything all at once, like, oh. And you know, that chord sounds great, and a lot of the times it will, but when I do it like that and try to do everything all at once, I don't give myself a lot of space to innovate and add new things and be creative. Instead, let's just do the root note first, okay? Let's just lay out like a basic root note pattern. Okay, that can be our root note for our chord progression. Now what I want all you producers to do when you have that is just highlight, click, pitch this up an octave, and move it down 5. No matter what we do, so long as we're staying in scale with the root note, this is always going to be the bottom and the top of any chord. Now what we're missing is notes in the middle. For the sake of me demonstrating this, I'm just going to stay with like basic chords. That'd be this. So now we have that with our chords. There's many things you can do. Common thing people do is they'll take the root notes like this and then they'll just like pitch them down like that. Pitching the voicings to different areas to see what you like. Also adding voicings, like if you want to go like to a 7th or a 9th, like, you know, do some stuff like that. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. So this is what I came up with. But that literally just came from us taking a root note, pitching up 12, and then moving it down 5, then just filling in notes as we please. It's really not that complicated once you figure that out. Okay, so now let's go to the next step, lead. If you think of every great lead for a melody, it's always one you can play by hand and you can always hum or hear in your head. So the best way to get a good melody like that is to quite literally hum it or play it with one hand. Usually I like to find certain notes that work before actually trying to make something from it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. I got this preset from the Crystal Serum Bank. It's called Lead Scream. All of this is being made in Serum, by the way. And yeah, I'm just gonna find some notes. I really like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into the next pattern. I'm going to go tools, dump score log, last 2 minutes. And I'm literally just going to take this last part and I'm basically just going to quantize it to my liking. So this is the part I ended up cutting out from what I played. I added a few notes like down here, stretched some of these notes so they do pitch bends and stuff like that. And all of a sudden I now have this. Now comes the second part of what I was talking about, keeping in mind of arrangement in every single step of what you do. From here on out, you can go do whatever, you know, like it's not like, oh, I have to do the 808s, then the hi-hats, but only this part of the hi-hats. Like you got to do what you think is going to be added next to the beat. These are going to be the first 2 sounds that play at the beginning of the beat. That's why I did them first. But it's like, okay, now what happens after that? I feel like it's missing some sort of like pluck sound. Also gonna add a bass line here. I'm using this custom Serum bass preset. I'll have the presets linked for you guys in the description. But yeah, I'm just gonna follow the root notes. It's a little bit slow, so I'm going to throw this gross beat half speed preset just because it's moving a little bit too fast. You know, if we want, we can maybe mess with the transpose, -2. Okay, Okay, so now that we have a complete melody with enough parts to take in and out of the beat to make the arrangement interesting, we're gonna move on to the next most important part, and that's the drums. As you may have noticed, I have a template pre-laid out of a bunch of drum sounds. They're all from my new kit called the New Waves Volume 1 drum kit. If you want to go get that on my BeatStars page, there's a link in the description. But yeah, I'm gonna start with the drums. Just like I was saying with making a lead melody, if you want to hear a rapper rap on your beat, you need to rap on your beat. You also need to be thinking of a certain flow, cadence, or style of a certain artist, and then make the drums around that. This right here is one of my favorite tricks I've ever learned from industry producers. I'm gonna have this preset linked for you guys, but basically what this is an audio recording preset, so I can hear my own vocals with auto tune and all these effects and whatnot that you'd hear on normal vocals over the beat while I'm making it. Again, just like with the melodies, best way to do this by far, start with a template. You see producers do this all the time. Start with the notorious clap, clap. As for the 808 pattern, I'm literally just following the root note. If you're especially a newer producer, like I'd strongly recommend you just start with the most fundamental drum pattern that's used in like every single beat, which is variations of this 5-note pattern like this. Go to the paintbrush tool here and hold shift and just click, follow the root note, pitch that up to the 5. And once you have the 808s tuned like I do here, then you want to start messing with it, kind of like we did with the melody. You know, we got the framework, so maybe you want to delete notes, move them around, like let's see. For drum patterns, a thing I've been doing often recently is messing with the velocities by like just swiping it like this. This weirdly works in making like your drum patterns a little bit more perfect in terms of the levels, as opposed to just messing with the knobs like this. What I'm about to show you is the best and easiest and most efficient way to make hi-hat patterns ever. Basically, what you want to do is just hold Control A and then Control L to extend the notes like I have here. And then wherever you see fit to add a hi-hat roll, just highlight it with Control and then the mouse, and then keep holding Control and then hit Control U, or you can hit Alt U, and that's always going to chop it in 1/2, 1/4, or 1/8. We'll never have to like switch to half step, 1/4 step. We can just stay in the 1/3 time intervals. Let's say I want to do a 2-note chop here, right? I want to go like this, and all of a sudden I can go like that. It's way easier than having to like switch in between. So now let's go on the third and final, but honestly, probably the most important thing I'm going to talk about in this tutorial, arrangement. Arrangement is so important, and it's probably the biggest difference I see in between good beats and beats that'll get used. There's 3 main reasons why arrangement is the thing that decides whether or not a beat gets used or not. The first one, it's like, oh, okay, sweet, epic intro. Oh, hell yeah, I'm the star, I'm the producer, I'm the artist producer who's super cool. All these crazy effects and filters, yada, yada, yada. Super long intros, especially nowadays with the fact that there's like an insane amount of producers always sending beats, always spamming emails, phone numbers, whatever. They don't have time or the patience to listen to your 9-year-long intro. Stick to 2 bars like this at most. This is usually like how long your intro should be. Even if you want like a cool intro, you want the beat to be a little bit different, just understand that like when you send out beats to artists, a lot of the times what you send out is going to get rearranged. Sounds are going to get taken in and out. Like focus on rap ability, not being the most impressive to producers. But yeah, 2-bar intro like this at the most. Because of the way we made the beat from scratch, I kept arrangement in mind for everything, so I already know exactly how I want this to start. Okay, so with the intro done, let's go on to mistake number 2, and that's not using 6/4 structure. 6/4 is like all your beats should be made around. Again, like stuff is gonna get rearranged, and sure, maybe 6/4 isn't like, maybe you just want to play on loop, whatever, but I do promise you this, 6/4 is the most repetitive and best structure to use. 6/4, or let's call it 3/2 for the sake, is 3 bars as your verse, part 1, verse part 2, and then the bridge between the verse and the chorus, and then as you can guess, the 2 is the chorus. So first part and then the second part. So for the beginning, let's do the verse. I'm actually gonna pitch everything up real quick. I'm gonna add one more sound. I kind of like that flute that was pre-saved in the last beat. And then to keep repetition, then we're gonna have this lead sound come in, and it's just gonna be like that. Okay, boom, we got bridge right here, we got verse right here, and we get the chorus right here. Now we can literally just go like this and copy that over, and just like that, we have a beat that a rapper would actually use. So in short, it comes down to two things really. Always keeping in mind the final arrangement whenever you add or change things, creating a framework and sticking to fundamentals, and keeping things simple, building things one step at a time before doing all the complex and unique parts of the beat is the key to making a beat that a rapper would actually use. Instagram and Twitter and FinnaFinesse, make sure to go follow that. Again, link to the New Waves Volume 1 drum kit will be in the link in the description, so make sure to go get that if you want the sounds used in this video. And yeah, I'm out. Peace.